Finally! An even season of Big Brother that I like. It's about flipping time because I was getting annoyed with the fact that I was only liking every other season because every odd season was better than every even season. 3, 7, 1, 5, 2, 4, 6. But this season was awesome. I mean, like, first, we have that Nemesis twist at the beginning. I didn't so much mind the fact that it was 8 to 3 and all of that, because if you're going to give everyone a Nemesis, it kinda will just make the house, a lot unsafe, and there was already a lot of criticism that the house was unsafe this season with all of Dick's comments. Other things that made this season great was the fact that the annoying people, Joe, Dustin to a degree, Jen with her naivety, Amber, and tiny bits of moment from several other people and all that, I honestly feel like it actually helped the season rather than hinder it. And also, I feel everyone got a good story this season. There was no person that just like, oh, what the heck is this person doing there? Even though you'll think that for a bit, everyone eventually gets enough camera time that you're like, oh no, they were always there, and I'm really satisfied with, seeing their actions and all that, because sure, Amber and Jamaica weren't the biggest people for several episodes in the middle there after what's his face, Joe got evicted, but then once we get to where the banner flies over, they begin to get highlighted a lot more. And there were other examples of that throughout the season. Zach, not a bad job for the loner of the season. Kind of reminds me of Sean from Survivor Borneo, where he was the loner there, never won an immunity, and yet he made it all the way to the final 5. So good job, man. And I also like how when the 3 that were up in the HOH room at the beginning left, we don't really remember that they were, 3 separate people, even though Kale was trying to argue that for a while, because, ironically, Carol and Joe were the first 2 evicted, so 2 of the 3 pairs had 1 member leave almost immediately, and the 1 pair that actually would probably have talked to each other again managed to make up enough of the differences. So, pretty interesting. And I also like how should I explain this well? There was sort of like an overall goal in the house and all that, because at first it was Kale trying to take out weaknesses in the house, then it was get rid of either Jen or Kale, then it was get rid of Kale and the guys supporting her, more on that later. Get rid of other sort of floater people in the house, get rid of Amber and Jamaica, and then it was the breakup of the 4 strong alliance, and then it was just a battle to stay alive after that. So it actually made the progress of this season fairly easy to follow, which I was glad about. So, I feel like now all I could do is talk about a couple of the big characters in the show. I'm not going to talk about everybody. Carol, Joe, well, I was glad that they left because I honestly felt they were the more disruptive people. Yes, I know Dustin did some bad characteristics in the middle of the game, but I just don't feel like it was as bad as Joe, because Joe, it felt more of his personality. Dustin, even though it was partially due to his personality, I felt like the game was more of an influence. Mike? Okay, that was just so stupid, man. I mean, like, Dick has claimed that he's worse than Marcellus. Yes, I feel he was worse than Marcellus, because Mike knew exactly what would happen to him if he tried, to get Dick to step up, which Dick did, voluntarily. Because, like, Marcellus, even though he had a feeling that it could happen, there was a darn good chance that he wouldn't have gotten evicted. Whereas for Mike, it was completely obvious that he was going to get evicted. And the longer that he was antagonizing Dick, I go, actually, you know what, dude? I'd actually love for you to step off and get rid of this guy, which he did. Nick, I don't know. Towards the end, he just seemed to kind of do. I don't want to say sucking up because it wasn't a true sucking up, but I don't know. He just kind of got on my nose a tad bit. Even though I don't hate the guy at all, I just felt like it was for the best that he got evicted. Who's next to talk about? Amber and Jamaica just. Oh, okay. Quit with the preaching and the crying, just, oh my god. That drove me insane, because, like, I ignored it for, like, 5 straight episodes where Amber was doing all of that, and I'm just going, okay, you know, the game's getting to you and all that, I understand, but then as it goes on after that, I go, I can't stand this, and she goes, well, if my premonition would be too real, well, what God is doing for me, it just, I just can't stand it. Yeah, so when she left, I was like, yes! Oh, what a relief! And when it got to be the final 6, I was actually hoping Jamaica would go the most out of everyone, because even though Zach didn't have the greatest amount of story, and I got the feeling that Eric wasn't going to win, even though he could have gone farther under the right circumstances, I'm like, just get rid of Jamaica, and then I don't really care who wins at that point. Okay, Eric and Jessica, I really like this relationship because it's very close to what I think Rob and Amber had in their relationship. Yes, those two did eventually break up, but unlike most of the reality couples you know that exist for a bit after the show but then stop, they actually, I think, were together for 3 years before they broke it up and all of that, so that was a legit couple, and many legit couples, you know, last for a few years, but then break up. Really? So I'm really glad that those two had that relationship, and I was sorry to see them go, but I got the feeling that the alliance wouldn't hold, and well, what happened is what happened. I've already discussed Zach. That was a good effort for the loner of the season, but I was hoping that Danielle and Dick would triumph over you, so yeah. Although I'm glad you took it in a positive spin. And then Dick and Danielle. Well, that was a really great relationship because at first, you know, you get the idea that they can't stand each other and all that, but I was like, I actually want you two to stay in this game because when you guys leave this game, I want this relationship to be ironed out. I don't care so much if you win, but as long as you get that relationship together, and then when you see each other, you're happy, you know, that's what I wanted. And thankfully they were able to patch it up to the point where they actually wanted to work with each other. And it was awesome seeing them, you know, win those competitions, be the duo that was knocking people off and all of that, and they actually managed to do it. So good job to you guys. Yeah, I know Dick, you know, caused a lot of controversy with his comments and all that, but one, it's a reality show, these comments happen a lot. Two, I feel like a lot of the parties honestly deserved it, because at the rate that Jamaica and Amber were preaching and all that, I'd probably just lose it and just say, shut up. Dustin and Joe speaks for itself. And Jen, well, unfortunately, given her behavior this season, she deserved it, alright? I mean, like, I don't hate her as a person, I just hate her dang naivety, if that's even a term. Because, like, all the things she was doing, I really do not think were personal. They were all, you know, unintentional. It just happened with her. I don't think she's faking that at all. Dick winning over Danielle, well, it didn't really matter who won, just like it didn't really matter that Danielle saved Dick and then Dick evicted Jamaica. I still view that as nominee on the final 4 veto, saving themselves voting for the person that replaces them. Although, now, I feel like I can put the issue of Final Four vetoes and all that to rest, because for once, a Final Four veto completely helped the season because, well, if there hadn't been a Final Four veto, Dick and Danielle would have gotten evicted and wouldn't have won. So, you can be rest assured that I will no longer be complaining about Final Four vetoes, because what happens with them is what happens. I've had them hinder and I've had them help me. So I'm good. So as you can gather, I really love this season, and I think I actually rank it as my third favorite season because it had a lot of dynamics, happening in the house and all that, great characters, no real issues with it, which is why it's ranked above all the even seasons, and season 5 and 1 due to the better characters. I rank it below 3 and 7, however, purely because I didn't get, as psyched, even though I got pretty darn close. So, great season, and I'm looking forward to continuing with the show. Sorry that there's been a lack of videos.